Hello and welcome to part 2 for my little amigurumi sheep tutorial. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, I recommend you do so. I'll link to it right there in the corner. So in part 1 we already crocheted the legs and the body, and now here in part 2 we will crochet the head and the little tail. So without further ado, let's continue with our little sheep. For the face, we start with the same color that we used for the legs, which is beige in my case. And we start with the 2.5mm hook, so the B1 or C2 hook. And we start by making a slip knot and then 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now in round 1, we single crochet in the next 2 chains, starting in the second chain from our hook. So 1 in here and 1 in the next chain. Then we single crochet 5 in the last chain here. So while I'm crocheting, I'm turning. So 2 go in here and then 3, another one, and the remaining 2 go on the other side. So now it's turned around so that we can crochet in the other direction. And that's 4 and 5. Now we single crochet here in the other side of the next chain. So 1 single crochet goes in there, and then in the other side of the next chain we single crochet 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, all in the same spot. And then I place my stitch marker here because that's the end of the round. Now in round 2 we single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and then we increase in the next 3 stitches. So 2 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, oops, 2, 3, so that was just 1 each, and then increasing in each of the next stitches. Increase, increase, and increase. So now we have a round of 18 stitches, and in round 3 we simply single crochet in all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17 and 18. That's round 3 done. Now in round 4 we increase, so we single crochet in the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then we increase in every 3rd stitch. So 2 in the 3rd one, and then we repeat this 6 times in total, so 5 more times. 1 and then next 2 in each of the next 2, and then increase in the 3rd one. 1, 2, and increase. 1, 2, and increase. Oops. Twice more now. 1, 2, and increase. And 1, 2, and increase. In round 5, we single crochet in all 24 stitches that we now have in our round. So as the rounds get a little bigger, I just go ahead and crochet. So you can pause the video here and hit play once you're at the end of the round. I'm at the end of round 5 now, so I made 1 single crochet in each of the 24 stitches. And now in round 6, we start decreasing ever so slightly. So we single crochet in the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and decrease. And then we repeat this twice more, so 3 times altogether. So again, single crochet in the next 6 stitches. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, correct. And then we make an invisible decrease. And 1 more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and crochet the last 2 stitches together. So now we have a stitch count of 21. And now in round 7 we keep decreasing. So now we single crochet in the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we decrease. And again we repeat this one 3 times all together. So single crochet in the next 5 stitches. That's 3, 4, 5, and decrease. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and decrease. So now we have a round of 18 stitches. we simply single crochet in all 18 stitches, but in the last one we change to our fluffy yarn combined with the cotton yarn in the same color. So we single crochet 17 all the way to the stitch marker, and try not to crochet this round too tightly, because for the next round we will change to a larger hook, to the 3.5mm E4 hook. Here we go. So now we do the color change in the usual way. First we change our hook. So now I have my 3.5mm hook, which is a size E. And we start the last stitch here with the beige yarn. So go to the stitch, pick up the yarn, pull it through, and now we pull the new yarn we want to join through the 2 loops on our hook. So as we did before with the body, we crochet those 2 yarns together. So we just pull them through, loop through, and just pull the end in the old color tight, and now I just move that over here so I can hold all 3 yarn ends together for the first few stitches, just so I don't lose any tension. And now for 2 rounds we simply single crochet in all 18 stitches with the fluffy yarn combined with the cotton yarn in cream. So the first round will be a bit tricky because we switch to a bigger hook. But if you didn't crochet too tightly in the previous round, then it should be okay. If you're using acrylic yarn instead of cotton, this part will likely be easier. It's just cotton yarn that's very stiff sometimes, but honestly I just prefer it for my amigurumi. Especially since they are not really cuddly toys, but rather smaller toys to play with, or even, you know, more like decoration. I think they don't have to be soft and cuddly, so the cotton yarn is ideal for them. And the last one, and that's 1 round complete. So now I'm just cutting off the beige yarn, and now we need a stitch marker to know where the end of the round was. And now we have another round of 18 stitches, so just 1 single crochet in each stitch, and this round should be much easier. And that's 3, 4. When I'm using this fluffy yarn, I I tend to count my stitches because the risk of missing one is a bit higher than with the just the cotton yarn. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So now it's time to place the safety eyes and to start filling the head. So I'll just secure my stitch here by going through the loop with my stitch marker. And now we can start by placing the eyes. So here where we have the color change that's slightly visible, that's I'm not going to use that as the top of the head because I want to hide that, so the other side will be the top. And now I place the eyes between rounds 6 and 7 with about 4 stitches space in between. With cotton yarn, sometimes it's really difficult to get safety eyes in, especially if they have these thicker ends here. So I'm using 7mm eyes, and they're just a little bit difficult to get in. Sometimes in my pattern I include, where to put some gaps while you crochet to make it easier. But with this one, I didn't do it because I wanted to give you the creative freedom to place the eyes anywhere you like. But there's still a trick that you can use. So first, let's count. So this is round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in between round 6 and 7 here, that's where I'll put my eyes, but you put them anywhere that you like. Just to show you how it looks if you place them the same way I do. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, about 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches apart. So 1 is going to go here, and now I'm using my small scissors to just widen the gap there, otherwise it's very difficult to get it in. But I'm very careful not to damage the yarn. So I just go in the gap and just try to widen that gap by just twisting my little scissors. You can also use your crochet hook for this. And then you can try to get one of the eyes in. And that's worked out nicely, that's good. So then the other one, I would say, goes here 1, 2, 3, 4. So even now that you placed your eyes and you want to change your mind about the placement, even if you remove them, again, the gap that you made, that can easily be closed again. If you decide, for example, to make a gap here now, this one will automatically close again, so don't worry about that. You can still change the placement if you've been careful with widening the gaps. So once you're happy with the placement of the eyes, you can secure them. That's it, and now we can fill the head with Fiberfill. So I'm just making small balls of Fiberfill because I want them to go underneath the safety eyes to fill the snout. If that's called snout for sheep, I'm not sure. So I'm just filling it bit by bit, not with one big chunk all at once, because I want it to evenly distributed. So this little bit now goes here in between the eyes. That's looking good. Now this can go on top of everything, and then we can still add more filling to the rest of the head later. So that should be enough for now. Now in round 11 we start to decrease, and as with the body we don't need to make invisible decreases because this fluffy yarn is already hiding the gaps so well, so we can simply decrease by skipping stitches. So we single crochet in the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then we skip every 3rd stitch. So we just don't crochet in there and crochet straight in the next. Again 2, because we repeat this 6 times in total, and skip the 3rd and in the next one, and 1, 2, skip, and in the next one, 1, 2, skip, and in the next one, 1, 2, skip, 2 in here, and then the last stitch is a skip, so that will just be skipped when we start our next round. But first, because the next round is already the last round, we just need to fill the head a little more. That may actually be too much. Just using my other hook to push it in. And that's it now in the last round. We keep decreasing, and this time we skip every other stitch. So the first stitch that we skip, that's still the last stitch of round 11. So here starts round 12, which is single crochet 1, skip 1, 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 and single crochet 1. So we should have 6 stitches left. And now we can fasten off, but we leave a long yarn end because we will use that one to sew on the head. So maybe I think I'm leaving it at almost at least 30 centimeters, 12 inches, maybe more. through. Then we thread these two ends on a fairly big yarn needle, so the eye of the needle should be big. So you can thread both of these on there, and then we just close it around by going through all front loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So then we pull the ends tight, but be careful not to break them. And then we just stitch through the middle and then through the, let's say here, because that's where we'll need it to sew on the head later, so that it comes out the bottom of the head, like very centered. And that's the base of the head done, but of course it still needs ears, so that's what we'll crochet next. For the ears, I used the same color that I used for the face and the legs as well, and we're using the 2.5mm hook again, B1 or C2, and we start with a magic ring. And we single crochet 6 in the magic ring, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, close the magic ring. Now in round 2 we slightly increase, so we single crochet in the first 2 stitches, pulled the ring too tight, so now the first stitch is a bit difficult to crochet in, just loosening that one up a bit. So 1 single crochet in here, and then 1 single crochet in the next, and then increase in the next stitch. 1, 2, and we repeat this once more. 1, 2, and increase. No. Let's do this without stitch marker. So pull the magic ring end tight if you haven't already. In the next round we decrease again, so now we single crochet in the next 2 again, in the first 2, 1 and 2, and now we decrease, so we single crochet the next 2 stitches together and repeat. Single crochet in the next, single crochet in the next, and decrease. Oops. There we go. Now in the last round we keep decreasing, so now we have 6 stitches, so we single crochet 1 in the next stitch and decrease, so the next 2 we crochet together, and once more, 1 single crochet, oops, there we go, let's do that again, 1 single crochet and decrease, and now we leave a fairly long end for sewing and fasten off, and then we repeat this for the second year, so you can go back to whichever minute I'm gonna put here, and there's also a timestamp in the description that you can click on. So now that we have 2 ears, we can sew them on. So I placed them between round 10 and 11, so this is 9 and this is 10, so somewhere here I would just look at it and see where you like them to be. You can also pin them in place with sewing pins if you like. So just thread the yarn end that was the working yarn, and that one I thread on the needle here. Oops, yarn split. There we go. So I'll put it here, and then I just stitch through like so. So I'll catch at least one loop of yarn there, and then I go back through the ear. So then I stitch through both layers of the ear back to the back of the head. There we go. Like so. And then I find another spot close to the previous one to stitch through the head again, towards the front of the head, towards the face. And now I may actually be too far away, although let's see, that may actually be fine because I want the ear to be facing slightly forward. Well, let's see, let's see how it looks. Now I just stitch back through through both layers of the ear, as close to the base as possible. And now one more stitch I do sideways. And once I'm happy and confident that the ear is firmly attached, then I just stitch one last time through the ear, and then through the head, close to the ear, towards here underneath the head, because here I can weave in the yarn end. So here I just weave the end in by making a few stitches. And then we have the other yarn end still here. And that one I'll also stitch through and weave in. Yeah, that looks cute, I think. So I just try to follow the stitch pattern when weaving in the yarn ends. And anyway, this is on the other side, so this won't be too visible. Okay, so now onto the other ear. So I placed it again between round 10 and 11 and just try to match it to the other one. I think that's a good placement here. So I just stitch through here again from the back of the head towards the face, and I just try to catch at least one loop and want it to be this way. So then I stitch back through the ear as close to the base as possible. Pull it nice and tight, and then again through the head, from the back of the head towards the face and back through the ear, and then one sideways stitch, one stitch through the ear sideways to attach it at the sides as well, and then down underneath the head to weave in the yarn end. Now, the more your amigurumi is being played with, the more attention I would pay to weaving in the yarn ends, because the more secure the body parts are, the longer they will last. So maybe you need to wash it a lot or something like that. So then you may want to weave in the ends more than I did. And that's it, that's the ears sewn on. So my yarn ends are still on the larger yarn needle that I used earlier. And now you just take the body and now just pay attention to where the front is. So the space between the legs is narrower in the front. In the back, the legs are wider apart. So make sure you have the front here. And then just look, just place the head on the body and look where you would like it to be. Just play around with it a bit. So for me, I'm going to place it here. And again, you can, if you like, pin it in place. That may be easier, especially if you're not used to sewing on body parts. So you would definitely want it to stay in position. I just risk it and do it without pins. So I just stitch through the body first. Like this. And then through the head, and I just try to go around. So I don't stitch toward the center front again, because that's where I already made a stitch, the first one. That's where it's already connected. So now I'm kind of moving around clockwise, if you know what I mean. So now I'm moving towards this, the left side of the head. And now I'm stitching from slightly the left side to through the body to slightly the right side. That's too far. So that's close to the previous stitch, so that's good. Okay, now I stitch through the head again, slightly from the right side, from my perspective here, to the left side. Yeah, I think that's not too bad. Stitch through here, and now I stitch through the body from the left side to almost the right side through the body. And now again through the head. And this way I'm just moving all around until it's attached from all sides. So that's where I made the last stitch. So I'll just try to move to the next gap here. Let's see how that works. I think that's fine. So now I stitch through the head again. Oops. There we go. Okay, now I stitched once all around, and now I just do another round. So you can do that in your own time, and pause the video here, and once the head is firmly attached, hit play, and we'll weave in the yarn end, and then we'll crochet the tail. The head is firmly attached now, so now we can weave in this yarn end, and I'll just stitch through the whole body to the belly and push the needle through and then pull it, and now I'll just weave in the yarn end here with a few stitches. One, two, three, can weave it in more if necessary. And that's the head attached. So now all that's left is the little tail. So for the tail, we combine the cotton yarn and cream and the fluffy yarn. So all we do is with the 3.5mm hook, this size E, we chain 3, and we leave a fairly long end here to sew on the tail. 1, 2, 3. Then we single crochet in the second chain and slip stitch in the third chain, and then that's already done. So we fasten off again, leaving a fairly long end there, pull that through, and now all that's left to do is sew this one on. So first we thread one side, oops, first we thread one side on our yarn needle, and the other one. Now just have a try and see where you would like the tail to go. Just look at it from all sides. I'll just go through here. And I think that's looking good, so I already start sewing in this yarn end. And there. Oops. Well, that may be enough. If your sheep is going to be played with by little ones, definitely weave it in more, I'd say. And then the other side. So go through here, close to the other stitch that I made, just next to it, stitch through to the belly, and that's looking good. So then just weave in this end. And that's it, our little sheep is complete. Thank you so much for using my tutorial and crocheting along with me. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up. That helps me a lot, and also it helps others know that this project might be worth their time as well. If you have any questions, just leave me a comment below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. You can also write me an email at stellasyarnuniverse, altogether at outlook.com. If you enjoyed this project, make sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of my future amigurumi tutorials. Thank you so much again. Bye. Happy crocheting.